behalf of the entire Winchester Sports Foundation, I'd like to welcome all of you to the 7th Annual Hall of Fame dinner. And I'd like to extend a special welcome to some of our local dignitaries. Kathy Bodie from the school committee. How's that, better? Kathy Bodie from the school committee. Our Winchester High School principal, Susan Morse. Superintendent of our public schools, Carol Eaton. Our state senator, Charlie Shannon. Selectman Stephen Powers. Selectman Bill O'Leary. Athletic Director David Berman. Chief of Police Joe Peritano. And I know Town Moderator John Sullivan was here, but he has a final exam tomorrow. We're not sure to list him in the dignitaries or with our senior athletes. So from all of us, we extend a warm welcome to our dignitaries that are here, but to also all of you for coming and supporting what we think is such a worthwhile cause. The Sports Foundation was formed in 1989 for the purpose of preserving and promoting athletics at the Winchester High School. And that remains our mission and our purpose today. Only a few short weeks ago, the directors of the Sports Foundation authorized a contribution in the tune of $15,000 to the athletic department. And it's through the generous efforts and support of people like folks in this room and hundreds around town that we're able to continue to produce the quality programs that we have all become so accustomed to seeing. We raise our funds through a number of different efforts. Primarily is the Sports Foundation's golf tournament, which will be held on the 19th of May at the Winchester Country Club. In addition, we have a membership drive, a fundraising drive, the annual penny drive, and we also rely very much on private donations from people like yourself. And I would ask that you take a look in your program book this evening to look through the list of patrons and donors. And again, it's through the efforts and support of folks like you that we're able to put together programs that we've become so accustomed to having. And again, I thank you all on behalf of the Sports Foundation and all of those who have been able to participate in the athletic programs over the years. Tonight is commonly known as the annual Hall of Fame dinner, but in fact, it really probably should be known more as the Athlete Appreciation Night, because it really is a tribute to the entire town of Winchester, and more specifically to the athletic community within the town of Winchester. We should be awful proud of the programs we put together, the athletes we turn out, and the citizens that we turn out. There'll be a lot said tonight about and from the inductees, and we shouldn't take one thing away from them because they certainly have earned their honor to be here this evening. But I'd like to take just a couple of brief moments to recognize some of our future Hall of Famers. And I think they're all up to my left, to your right in the back of the room. They're our senior athletes. And traditionally, they have joined us for dinner this evening because it is, in fact, more than just a Hall of Fame dinner. In a few short weeks, believe it or not, your careers as high school athletes will come to an end. And some of you will be fortunate enough to go on and play in college and maybe even beyond. But for all of you, the days of pulling on that jersey with the red and black sachem on it will come to an end. And that'll be a sad day. It'll be a sad day for you. It'll be a sad day for your family, your coaches, your friends. But we all come to that day at some point. And that's the bad news. The good news is the memories that you have and the friendships that you've made and the experience you've gained will stay with you for the rest of your life. And we've had some great memories. And there'll be a video that I think is one of the highlights of this evening's festivities every year that we'll see in a few short minutes. But what a run it's been. Just think back over the 4 years, whether it was the fact that we had a soccer team that was ranked #1 in the nation by USA Today. Who will ever forget the basketball team a year ago that went to the Fleet Center? And if my memory serves me right, you probably were the first high school basketball team to play on the parquet at the Fleet Center. And who will ever forget that and the victory that you had that day? And it went on to Worcester the next weekend. Well, one of my personal favorites was a night up in Woburn a year ago when the hockey team scored a goal with less than a minute left to beat Woburn, of all teams, 3-2, to put the hockey team in the state tournament for the first time in 32 years. Who will ever forget? And some of the stories from after that game will never be told. Or the state tennis titles, boys and girls. The individual title holders from girls and boys tennis. The numerous wrestling titles, whether it be the team or a state championship, a New England title, individual or team. And those are the noteworthy ones. But the memories a lot of you will take weren't in the newspapers at all. Maybe it was the day you ran your personal best time in a cross-country meet, or maybe it was a track meet, and there was nobody there other than a couple of parents and your teammates and the coaches. But you'll remember it, and they'll remember it, and you'll come back here 5 years, 15 years, 45 years, and still be telling the same stories to the same friends. Or maybe it's the 15-foot putt you drained at Winchester Country Club that won a match, and there was nobody there because it was almost dark. But you remembered it, and it wasn't in the newspaper. Your family remembers it, your coaches remembered it. Or maybe even the memories weren't great memories. Maybe it was the championship game that got away. Maybe it was the goal that you missed or the goal you allowed, or the touchdown that was called back. But those are all lessons learned, and they'll serve you well in later life. Along with the great memories, we feel very, very deeply, come some responsibilities and some obligations. And those responsibilities and obligations are that you give just a little something back to the programs that are giving you so much. Whether that means volunteering to referee a youth game, or whether it means volunteering to coach a Cap League game or a Cap League team, or to serve on a board, or serve on the Sports Foundation, or maybe even step forward and run for political office as a selectman or as a school committee member. The programs need you so that future generations of Sachem athletes can enjoy the same quality programs that we've all been so fortunate to be able to participate in. So just in closing, let me say to the seniors that are here tonight, thanks for the memories. You did yourself proud and the town of Winchester proud. Good luck next year wherever those plans may take you. And lastly, but most importantly, Help us to carry the torch so that future generations can enjoy the same quality programs. Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to turn the podium over to our Master of Ceremonies, but before I do that, let me just make a brief comment again to our seniors. If you're ever looking for a role model, you don't need to look much further than Maria Montori. Maria is in the Hall of Fame. In my estimation, she's one of the finest athletes, male or female, I might add, ever to come out of Winchester High. But that's not why she ought to be a great role model for you guys. It's because what she did after her stellar career at Boston College, when she came back to Winchester, started her own business here, served on a board of directors of a local bank, donated her time and energy to all kinds of youth groups, and then stepped forward and agreed to MC a program like this. That's why she ought to be a role model. Thank you very much, and Maria, program's yours.
Thanks, Rich. Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight. Can everybody hear me? This is a very special night, not just for the inductees, but for the family, the friends, the former inductees who are here. And you don't know how special it is until you really get here and you see what the dinner has to offer to you. I'd like to thank my committee members. We had 8 nominations this year. We chose 5. We have strong standards that we like to keep, and we're going to continue that. We encourage people to send in your nominations, but I'd like to thank them for being there to help me in the selection process. I'd also like to thank my sisters, Bernadette and Vivian, Donna D'Agostino, Lucille Bork, Dot Butler, Marty Fuller for helping me in the beginning, as well as my brother-in-law, Dennis. This is not an easy thing to do alone, so we got to reach out to other people, and I'd like to thank them. My assistant, Lee Carr, kept my sanity. She alphabetized the list. I couldn't do it, so I want to thank her for that and everything else. And lastly, I'd like to thank the Sports Foundation, Rich Shanahan, Dave Leland. I'd like to thank them as well as Dot and Dave Berman. Every time I needed a question answered regarding the seniors or regarding the high school, they had an answer for me within 24 hours, which is wonderful. Back in 1991, the Sports Foundation Hall of Fame had its first dinner, and we inducted Joe Bellino. The dinner would never, ever have happened, and we would never be sitting here tonight if it wasn't for one person who took everything upon himself to form the Hall of Fame committee. And inside of your books, there's a write-up on a gentleman named Sam Rotundi, who was very special to me, very special to many people. And I wanted to take just an opportunity to recognize Sam for all that he not only does for the Sports Foundation, but for the town of Winchester. These nights are memories for a lifetime, and you'll realize it when you leave. And Sam, you've created that for all of us. You've made this event an event that people put in their books a year ahead of time. So we want to thank you. I thank you. You're admired by everybody, and your hard work does not go unnoticed. Sam, thank you. Each inductee will get not only a plaque, but at the high school there's the Hall of Fame wall, and everyone gets a gold plate that goes on it with their name and the year they graduated. I had one made up for Sam as the founder of the Hall of Fame, and that's going to go up as well with the other inductees tonight. Tonight we're here to honor our athletes of the past as well as the future. From All-Americans to All-State to All-Scholastics, we had them all in Winchester, whether it was this year, last year, and I know we'll have more in the future. So I want to call on Tim MacArthur right now, and if you could just start to look at the cameras, the screens over here. We're going to show you what sports in Winchester this year was all about.
stopped raining for days. My world is a flood. Slowly I become one with the mud. But if I can't swim after 40 days and my mind is crushed by the crashing waves that be up so high that I cannot fall and be alone. Lift me up when I'm falling. splashing in the ocean. I'm losing control. Dark sky all around. Can't feel my feet touching the ground. But if I can't swim after 40 days and my mind is crushed by the crashing waves that me up so high that I cannot fall. Lift me up, whoa. Lift me up when I'm falling. Lift me up, we can die. Lift me up, I need you to hold me. Lift me up, keep me from drowning Come storms that drench my eyes and dry the stream still flowing, casting down all ways and sin and guilt that overthrow me. If I can't swim after 40 days and my mind is crushed by the crashing waves that me up so high that I cannot fall, lift me up, whoa. Lift me up when I'm falling. Lift me up, I'm weak and I'm dying. Lift me up, I need you to hold me. Lift me up, keep me from drowning again. Lift me up when I'm falling. Lift me up, I'm weak and I'm dying. I need you to hold me. Keep me from drowning. I tend the wheat fields that make you bread. I find the sweet field, pluck the hands that make your bed. Well, Mother Nature and Mother Earth are two of three women who dictate what I'm worth. Well, I am a farmer. I work in the fields all day. Don't mean to alarm, but I know it was meant to be this way. You cried a tear, I wiped it dry. I put you up on a pedestal so high. If you should waver, if you should sway, I'll catch you, spread my tiny wings and fly away. You sign your pictures with an O and X. I bet you don't write it out each time you sign your checks. I'm a farmer. I work in the fields all day. Don't mean to alarm, but I know it was meant to be this way. All of this corn I grow it all for you. I took a hatchet to the radio, did it all for you. Well, you could have written back and you could have said thank you. I guess you got better things I like. I guess you got better things. I guess you got better things to do. Better things to do, yeah. Better things to do. Things to do. You say you love me. Is that the truth? Although they've heard the songs my
living proof. I know your address. Ring the bell. I'll bring you flowers at a 22 with shells. I am a farmer. I work in my fields all day. Don't want it to hammer, but I know it was meant to be this way. I know it was meant to be this way. I know it was meant to be this way.
Thanks, Tim. Tim MacArthur went to Winchester High School and is now a freshman at Emerson, or he's actually finishing up his freshman year. So I lucked out because Tim came back to help me do this film. So Tim, thank you very, very much, and to Channel 19. Well, that was them on film. Now let's see some of them in real person. I'm going to call up Dave Berman, the athletic director, to please come up, say a few words.
Thank you, Maria. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight on this wonderful occasion. Congratulations to all the Hall of Fame recipients and to the Winchester High School seniors. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Winchester Sports Foundation for their sincere interest in Winchester High School athletes and for their generosity. Last year, the Winchester Sports Foundation helped refurbish the wrestling room. New wall mats were installed and the room was painted. It's now the talk of the Middlesex League. Thanks to the Winchester Sports Foundation, we were also able to build a new trophy case outside the auditorium to proudly display the many awards that high school teams and athletes have received through the years. I'm very excited about this year's proposed projects. I'm hopeful by next fall there'll be 2 new scoreboards installed on Winchester High School playing fields, one at Manchester Field to be used for football and baseball, and one at Cha-Cha Field to be used for soccer and lacrosse. A second project that I would like to undertake is the installation of a new Winchester High School track and field record board. The one currently used at the field house is insufficient to display the many records of the outstanding athletes that we have competed on the girls and boys track teams in Winchester High School over the years. This board is a makeshift device that the coaches have done their best to keep up, and it's very difficult to read. I would like to replace the current board with a new, larger, easy-to-read, professionally designed board. At a time when all the town budgets are tight and come under close scrutiny, The athletes and coaches at Winchester High School are extremely fortunate to have a group of dedicated and concerned people whose desire is to keep the athletic program at Winchester High School one of the finest in the state. Through generous financial assistance, things that would only be a dream become a reality. On behalf of all the high school athletes and coaches, I thank you very much for your support. Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce the senior athletes that are here with us tonight, and if they come forward. Okay, Rich, are you coming up here to help with this? Okay, as I call off your name, if you could step forward, please. Nicole Cuff, soccer, lacrosse, cheering. Nicole will be going to the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. Brooke Estridge, swimming, track. Brooke will be going to Princeton. David Van Aken, wrestling. David will be entering MIT. Lauren Corkery, soccer, track, lacrosse. Lauren's going to Harvard. Andrew Belanger, golf, baseball. Andrew's going to University of Vermont. Jonathan Zizzi, football, lacrosse, basketball. John's going to prep at Avon Old Farms. Kevin Bragger, baseball, University of Wisconsin. Billy Galatis, soccer, wrestling, Northeastern. Dave McGeehan, football, basketball, track. David's going to Colby. Daryl Interes, baseball. Daryl's going to Tufts. Scott Brooks, football, lacrosse, University of Virginia. Allison Borges, lacrosse and track, Washington and Lee. Chris Eveling, soccer and lacrosse. Chris is going to MIT. Megan Rowe, tennis. Megan's going to Lafayette. Kim Boland, soccer, gymnastics, tennis. Kim's going to Bowdoin. Molly Nolan, soccer and track. Molly's going to Boston University. Palin Schwab, lacrosse, Roanoke. Kevin Colosi, tennis. Kevin's going to University of Rhode Island. Justin Saponi, soccer and basketball. Justin is going to Drew. Dana Imperator, soccer, basketball. Dana's going to Villanova. Debbie Rogers, soccer. Debbie's going to Becker. Brian Caruso, baseball, Boston College. Nick Danella, football, track, baseball. Nick is going to Harvard. Frank Federa, football, wrestling, Springfield College. John Levitt, football, wrestling, lacrosse. John will be prepping at Canterbury. Laura Montgomery, soccer, lacrosse. Laura will be going to Colby. And congratulations and best of luck to all our graduating seniors.
Congratulations, everybody. Now, don't all of you leave. Stick around. I'm going to watch everyone sit down. Before I get to the new inductees, I'd like to recognize the former inductees that are here who continue to support the foundation. Every time we have new inductees, they always seem to come back, and I'd like to thank them for that, and I'd like to recognize them. Paul Del Rossi, I'm not sure if Paul's here, but he was going to try to make it. If you could stand up when I say your name and hold your applause, that'd be great. Jan Dolan, Frank Finnegan, Vandy French, Laurie Glynn, Victor Lawson, Manny Marshall, Peter Provenzano, and Jocko Sirica. Thank you. Well, we've seen the present. Now let's see the past. The new inductees for 1997 Winchester Sports Foundation Hall of Fame video.
Now I had the time of my life. No, I never felt like this before. Yes, I swear it's a truth, and I owe it all to you.
'Cause I had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you.
I've been waiting for so long. Now I finally found someone to stand by me.
We saw the writing on the wall as we felt this magical
waiting for you to come through. Someone like you to make it all worthwhile. Someone like you keep me satisfied. Someone exactly like you. See, I've been traveling a hard road, looking for someone exactly like you. I've been carrying my heavy load, waiting for the light to come shining through. Someone like you to make it all worthwhile. Someone like you to keep me satisfied. Someone exactly like you. Yeah, I've been doing some soul searching just to find out where you're at. I've been up and down this highway in all kinds of foreign lands, but someone like you make it all worthwhile. Someone like you keep me satisfied. I have been all around the world, marching to the beat of a different drum. But my baby, I have realized the best is yet to come.
It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I've got it all here in my heart. Seasons of love. 525,600 minutes. 525,000 journeys to a land. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure the life of a woman or a man?
In truths that she learned, or in times that he cried, and the bridges he burned, or the way that she died.
Your story never ends. Let's celebrate, remember a year in the life of friends. You got to remember to love. You know it's a gift from up above. Measure your life in love. Seasons of love. Seasons of
I don't know, I'm missing something there.
This is New Guinea.
It's so powerful.
I don't see it.
I'm having an out-of-decade experience. I was walking and came upon a fountain which bore the sign, "Don't drink the water."
Do you get
Beggar
this?
carries a
Isn't
sign
it
saying, "I'm
fantastic?"
blind." What does this poem mean to me? It's like a collage of images.
Let's
and
face it,
sounds.
not every cultural activity appeals to everyone.
Finding an oasis.
So we're giving you something everyone likes, a choice. That's why 23,000 arts and humanities groups are inviting you to find something you can get excited about. Just call for a free brochure about what's going on in your community.
I think I'm getting into this.
They're tuning up.
The arts and humanities, there's something in it for you. There's a lot going on in your community. For a free brochure on how to get involved, call our toll-free number.
I'd like to thank Alta Video of Lexington and Mass AV's Bill Ganter, who we always ask for every year to come out to this event because he does such a great job. So Bill, thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed that. I know I did, making it at least. As the inductees come up, I'm going to present you with a copy of that video, your plaque, and each of you will get a citation from your officials in your town. Leo, you're special because the governor gave you a citation as well. She couldn't make it tonight, but our first inductee is Michael Murphy. Michael. This Woburn crowd's tough. Oh. This three-sport athlete could not go any longer without being inducted into the Winchester Hall of Fame. Mike graduated in 1955. But has not been forgotten by his coaches and peers as one of the most classic athletes in Winchester's history. Mike was an outstanding running back who led the team to a 23-3-2 record over the course of his three-year varsity career and scored 117 points. He captained his 1955 team, was named the outstanding running back of the Thanksgiving Day game in both his junior and senior year. He beat Woburn, in other words. On the ice, Mike was very well known for his defense as well, and according to former Hall of Fame coach Frank Finnegan, he was known as the enforcer. Mike captained the state championship team in '55, and in track, he held the shot put record during his high school years as well. Mike went on to St. Joseph's University, where he's already been inducted into that Hall of Fame for his outstanding achievements in football. Please welcome on this day, May 8th, 1997, Michael Murphy to the Winchester Hall of Fame.
I need these. I need these. Read your speech. You only gave me 10 minutes. I got some, if I get too long, I promise, I got someone in my crowd's gonna stand up and tell me to sit down. Honest. First of all, I want to say thank you very much. It is indeed an honor for me to be here, and I would like to thank my brother John, Coach Finnegan, Skitchy Carroll, I'll find you guys one at a time, Leo Callahan, and Vinny Caputo for writing and supporting me. Thank you. Also to Maria, you can't hide on me, lady, you can't hide on me. And the selection committee for all the hard work they have done to put this evening together. Congratulations to the other inductees on their election to the Hall of Fame. Also, to the Winchester High School seniors being honored here this evening, good luck. That was a long time ago for me. I would like to say thank you to my family, friends, and I gotta add, they snuck in on me. There's a table that snuck in and Coach, did you guys pay? She asked me. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. Now I forget where I'm at. All right. For the honor which is being bestowed upon me this evening, especially my wife, Julia. Even though I played for Winchester, she was a whooping cheerleader. And she's still here. She's still here. Huh? It is such a great honor to be inducted into the Winchester Hall of Fame, especially when I consider all of the great athletes which have passed through that school. I am eternally grateful to all those good people who have shared the practice field with me, who have been on the different teams with me over the years, and those are some of the people who have helped me to gain this outstanding honor today. I would like to extend a special thanks to to them. Mr. Tracy, he's in a business. I need bigger print next time. Bigger print. He's in the business department. During my years at Winchester High School, I was extremely fortunate to have played under great coaches such as Henry Knowlton, Frank Finnegan, Frank Provenzano, who brought out the very best in their players. Thank you. Even today, I still run in a race car. I have family, friends, and fans who help me be the best I can in that today. Thank you. To put it all together, all my life, from high school to college, today, the car, teaching school, everything. I have been surrounded by the very best of people that we have on this earth. Thank you. Hey, Mr. Donlin, was I short enough?
Our next inductee is Leo Callahan, and I've had a lot of fun with Leo. Have we had fun doing this together? We've had a lot of fun putting this together. Nobody could talk about the hockey teams in the 1950s without mentioning Leo Callahan's name. For example, I'm going to throw some statistics at you that his brother Bill put together, which was amazing. In 1955, Leo scored 25% of the team's overall goals. In 1956, he scored 37.5%. And in 57, he scored 43.4% of the overall goals scored. In his 3 years, he averaged 34.7% of the total goals scored. With this, Leo was recognized for the amazing statistics by being named MVP from Winchester and received the prestigious Star Lumber Company Trophy 3 times. Yeah. He captained his team in his senior year and was named to the North Shore All-Star team. He played in 3 state tournaments, 1955, 56, and 57. In 10 state tournament games, Leo scored 10 goals and had 6 assists. After he graduated from BU, he became the first head coach of New England College Hockey and was the founding member and current president of the Friends of New England Hockey. Please join me in welcoming Leo Callahan on this day, May 8th, 1997, to the Sports Foundation Hall of Fame in Winchester.
Thank you very much. Hi, Matt. Hi, Mike. Those are my 2 above-average nephews. Both great guys. I wanted to make sure I mentioned their names so they'd be on the video tonight. Standing here tonight truly is magnificent for me because it's something I never really expected to happen. And it is indeed a humbling experience because it puts me in the company of 39 outstanding athletes and coaches who each wrote a magnificent individual chapter to Winchester High School's illustrious sports history. Each of us in the room tonight owns a handful of supreme moments, moments in our lives that never will be replicated, moments when fleetingly we tasted the ambrosia of life and felt the full measure of human happiness. My very first supreme moment was a hockey moment in 1955 on March 12th, that Saturday night when Winchester became state hockey champion. I was a 16-year-old sophomore and had never participated in anything quite so exhilarating or so grand. And for weeks afterwards, I walked in the stratosphere. Prior to that, my really big moment had been when the nuns marched me into St. Mary's Church to make my first confession. God, that was a long day. For a lot of years following that supreme Saturday night in the old Boston Arena, I used to think I'd never again have such a supreme moment, certainly nothing to equal that Saturday night. But I was wrong, and in the years that followed, I picked up 5 more. My second came in 1969 on the day my wonderful daughter Vigdis was born, and my third was in 1972 on the day my wonderful son Stig was born. And my fourth was in 1992 when my daughter graduated from Northeastern. And my fifth was in 1995, the day my son married his lovely lady Dawn. And the sixth was in 1996 when my granddaughter May Ingrid was born. Tonight I add my seventh, which for several reasons has doubled the joy in it for me, because now I'm in the hall and in the company of my coach and teacher and friend, Frank Finnegan. And that for me is a very high honor and a privilege. He gave me as a teenager some very important personal precepts to live by, and he truly made tonight possible for me. Possible because of his confidence and patience, possible because of the guiding hand he extended to me 42 years ago when I desperately needed a wise and caring mentor to dispense some guidance. Thanks, Coach. Being able to stand here tonight is one of the great gifts that you've given me, and I truly appreciate that. This moment is made supreme, too, because I'm now standing in the hall with two of my revered teammates, Wayne Coles and Mike Murphy. The three of us skated together during that wonderful championship season of 1955, and on that night, in March 12th, we were on the ice together at the same time for that magical moment when the Boston Arena scoreboard clock flashed all zeros, and we were all part of the best high school hockey team in the state of Massachusetts. There's an added dimension for me tonight because this induction marks the first time that two members from the same team have entered the hall on the same night. And I have to congratulate you, Michael. I'm truly honored being in your company. And I have a note here that was passed to me. It's addressed just to Murphy and Callahan. It says, Mr. John Jameson requests a personal Irish audience with us after the proceedings conclude tonight. In an unusual way, my WHS hockey experience has profoundly affected my life. I found great value in my memories, which have remained vivid for more than 40 years. All I have to do is plug in my mental video and play it all back. I can still see it, and I can still hear it, and I can smell it, all 3 years of it. In July of 1957, I realized that my hockey memories have this wonderful narcotic effect and can neutralize pain and anxiety and buoy me through any tough times. 1 month after my high school graduation, just before midnight on July 18, I stepped off a bus in Bainbridge, Maryland. I was one of 30 guys who was met by a real nasty and quite homely chief petty officer who screamed and abrasively reminded us that we were in the Navy now. Then he proceeded to call all of us some rather unkind names, some of which I had never heard before around Winchester. My new friend Bob Dufresne and I met in Boston at 6:30 that morning, about an hour before we were sworn in on that hot July day. And we became fast friends, and for the next 90 days, we were inseparable. He was from Woonsocket, Rhode Island, and had just graduated from Mount St. Charles High School. And he was to that school what Joe Bellino was to our school, a gifted three-sport athlete, an all-state in football, basketball, and baseball. In the boot camp barracks, our bunks were right across from each other, and on the fourth night, Dufresne was missing his Anita, and I was missing my Linda, and we were both missing home, painfully so. There we were in the late night darkness, two homesick teenagers desperately struggling to be men and not succeeding. We started talking about sports and some of the high school games we had played in. Dufresne talked about football, and I talked about hockey. Dufresne talked about basketball, and I talked about hockey. Dufresne talked about baseball, and I talked about hockey. And then I ran out of stories. and I couldn't keep up with him anymore. And he kept on going, and in the wee hours, he mercifully talked himself out. It was then I realized that the pain of my lonesomeness had evaporated. In the 40 years since that great emotional discovery, I've 1,000 times relied on my hockey memories to pull me through some pretty tough moments. One of the big ones was when I became certified for scuba diving, and the instructor one evening, without saying why, had the whole class of 10 jump into the deep end of the pool and start treading water. He pulled up a chair on the edge of the pool, made himself comfortable, and started reading the newspaper. Half hour later, somebody asked what was going on. He didn't even look up. He just said, "Keep treading." 2 hours later, we all crawled out of the pool. It had been a test to see how much endurance and mental toughness we had. We all made it. But what got me through and eased my pain was my big bag full of hockey memories. Those same hockey memories worked too the day I was with 4 friends in a disabled boat 15 miles off of Bermuda. It was dusk, the seas were high, the radio wouldn't work, and the tide was dragging us south. We could have been in Barbados by sunrise. In all of those hours before the rescue, I let my mind nurse on my hockey memories. They neutralized the fear, and I made it through. There were several other bad times, far too many to recount here, but let's just say that my hockey memories have been valuable to me. And tonight, my collection gets another supreme moment, a 24-carat moment. I have to share tonight's honor with my brother Bill. Over the years, we've shared a lot, including that afternoon in December of 1949 when we almost drowned in Winter Pond. He was 6, I was 10, and we were skating after school. It was the only time ever that we got a ride home in a fire truck. Even as a kid in grammar school, he was always my biggest booster and supporter. During my 3 years, he didn't miss many of my hockey games. He too played 3 years of varsity hockey for Winchester. He was a captain in his senior year and a high scorer in the Middlesex League. But because I was in the Navy during his hockey years, I saw but a handful of his games. So, brother, half of what I have right now belongs to you. And thanks for being my biggest supporter. I also want to share a slice of this with my teammates from those 3 seasons between 1954 and 1957, especially my line mates, Richie Johnson, who I skated with for 2 seasons, and Ron Parker, Joe Cusson, and John Zirkle, and my line mate Wayne Coles, who was inducted in 1993 and who I still consider to be the greatest hockey player to ever wear a Winchester jersey. With Wayne, I share this too. They all helped make tonight possible for me. And my deepest thanks goes out, too, to all who were involved in my nomination: Vic Lawson, Joe Keating, John Sullivan, Wayne Coles, Frank Finnegan, and my brother Bill, whose idea this whole thing was. Thanks for the memory.
Thank you, Leo. Our next inductee is Gary Arrico. Gary Arrico excelled in 2 sports and was recognized by not only the local newspapers but national publications for football and wrestling. Though Gary is incredibly modest, he's got every right to be boastful. I'm going to go through a few things that he's done. And in wrestling, Gary had over 100 wins and was a state and New England champion and captain his senior year. His career record was 135-4. In between the wins and his overall record are many other exciting statistics, such as 2-time Middlesex League All-Star, 2-time sectional champion, 2-time state finalist, Global Scholastic, Winchester's first ever state champion, and Winchester's first ever New England state champion. And that was just wrestling. In football, Gary didn't go unnoticed. Gary played quarterback and running back for the Sachems. He was a Middlesex League All-Star captain in his senior year and a Shriner and Aganis All-Star Game participant. His athletic career continued at Lowell, where he both wrestled and played football, and Gary became the Golden Helmet Award winner and was also inducted into the Hall of Fame there as well. On this day, May 8th, please welcome Gary Arrico to the 1997 Hall of Fame.
If you notice by all the papers, I'm actually going to talk. And contrary to my reputation for being quiet, I've decided to say more than just thank you tonight. Because tonight is such a special night, I feel obligated to let you all know that there is more to me than just the athlete. But I will tell you a little about how I felt being an athlete at Winchester High, as well as some of my teammates and coaches. I will begin by talking about wrestling. I feel that it's important that you all know that Winchester Wrestling was not always the successful and popular program that it is now. When I began my wrestling career, it was just something I did to keep in shape for football. In fact, I hated wrestling with a passion. I wrestled for 2 years before Larry Tremblay became head coach. And believe me, there were many times I considered quitting the sport altogether. There were two people, however, that motivated me to keep with it. One was assistant coach Ted Neal, who was the voice of reason and a very good friend. The other was Lenny Bellino, teammate and co-captain. Lenny was the toughest high school kid in America. And I don't think anybody here will disagree with that. I believe that my greatest accomplishment in wrestling was surviving Lenny's beatings for 2 years. Now, Lenny and I had two things in common. Number one was we were both very competitive towards each other. And number two was we both agreed that wrestling absolutely sucked. Finally, my senior year came. Len Bellino graduated, and a new head coach named Larry Tremblay arrived. Looking back now, I wish Larry had been my coach for my entire wrestling career. I truly feel I would have accomplished much more than I did. But I am grateful for the one season that we did spend together. In that short span of time, Larry and I connected as if we had known each other for years. We had a mutual respect for each other beyond that of coach and athlete. I often found it difficult to call him Coach Tremblay because he was just Larry to me. But clearly, he was more than just Larry. He was the best coach I've ever had. Although Larry was my favorite coach, my favorite sport was football. So now I would like to spend some time talking about football. What can I say about football, Winchester football, that hasn't already been said? Probably not much. For me, the first thing I learned about Winchester football was that in 1951, my father, Dick Arrico, was a captain on an undefeated Sachem football team. And I was lucky enough to see all his game films many, many, many times. My father also showed me a book titled Navy's Joe Bellino by Dr. Barone. After that, I was hooked. I bled Sachem red. Looking back at that time, I now wonder, what does it mean to be a Sachem? Or, what inspires you to be a Sachem? I've written a poem that I think answers these questions. And I think that it would be fitting that longtime friend and football co-captain Jay Gill help me answer these questions. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Jay Gill.
Unbelievable. He hasn't said this many words in the 3 years in high school. It's unbelievable, Gary. You didn't tell her how much time he had, did you, Maria? Unbelievable.
In honor of Mother's Day, I would like to dedicate this poem to my mother, Gladys Arrico. And I would just like to say to her that, Mom, this poem is meant to be funny. And I don't want to catch you crying, because I'll be watching you.
And I had no idea what's coming up here, Mrs. Rico.
Gary. Are you all set?
All right, my first?
No. Oh, the title of the poem is The Sachem by Gary Arrico.
Okay, here we go. What does it mean to be a Sachem is the question that we ask.
Does it mean you lived in Winchester and paid a higher tax? Wait.
Did you ever have to walk to school, or did you take your parents' car?
Did you read the Wall Street Journal or perhaps the Winchester Star?
Did you ever wear the Sachem on your shirt or on your blouse?
Have you ever had toilet paper wrapped around your house?
Did you wear your Sachem jacket underneath the lights?
In front of White Hen Pantry every Friday night?
Did you have a famous motto like no guts, no glory?
Was your name just as familiar as Bellino or Montori?
Did you celebrate a victory the way you were taught?
Or did you leave your empty beer cans at the high school parking lot?
Did everybody know you? Did you have a household name?
Did the police say, I'll let you go this time, but make sure you win the game?
Did you ever speak at a banquet and read a silly rhyme?
And hope that they don't print it in the Whoopin' Times?
Wow. Excuse our sense of humor. We mean to cause no grief.
So now let's just forget the puns and get back to our motif.
Does the meaning of the Sachem depend upon the sport?
Is it different on the football field than perhaps the tennis court?
Well, perhaps we'll have to answer from just our point of view.
Two former football captains, if you need to know just who.
We both had family members who had captained in the past.
So pride in Sachem football was something we learned fast.
We learned about tradition, a rich one, as you know.
about undefeated seasons and a Bellino they called Joe.
Of course, football was not the only sport deserving such praise.
There were sports like soccer and tennis that had many more banners raised.
But football had that certain magic, you could call it a mystique.
To feel the glory on Thanksgiving Day, it made our sport unique.
For on Thanksgiving Day, we are sachems at our best.
Whether on the field or on the bleachers, you'll find the answer to our quest.
For its pride and tradition, that makes us what we are.
As we honor former athletes that we consider stars. Now, in my own opinion, as a member of the Hall of Fame, it's been an honor to play a sport for a town that loves its games. Thank you very much.
Gary, you've come a long way. I'll tell you. All right. I take that back. Steve, not to take anything away from you and Paula. Our next inductee is Stephen Costello. We're never going to get out of here. Stephen shined in two sports at Winchester High School. He played football and baseball. In football, Stephen shined as a halfback and cornerback. He rushed for 1,291 yards and had 21 touchdowns for the Middlesex League Tri-Champs in his senior year. He also picked off 5 passes as a cornerback and earned Middlesex League honors, as well as the Middlesex League Player of the Year and a Globe All-Scholastic for defense. In baseball, he was a left-handed weapon. He was a pitcher for Coach Bill Chase's Sachems and a solid slugger for the team as well. Stephen went on to the University of Maine, where he continued his excellence in playing football. Please welcome on this day, May 8th, 1997, Stephen Costello to the Sports Hall of Fame.
Whoa, definitely can't compete with Dr. Seuss. Gary, that's one of the honors of being inducted tonight is having the class that was supposedly our role models, and there they are. That was great. It's definitely an honor to be inducted tonight. First of all, I want to thank my mother and father for giving me the solid foundation to build on. All my brothers and sisters for the endless hours of stickball, wiffle ball, football, boxing, everything that we did growing up, giving me the competitive spirit and hoping to instill in me the will to win and to be a good competitor. And for my wife, Nancy, for being there for me, even when I didn't know you were. Thank you. For Paul Manganaro, thanks for being there, and thanks for giving me your support tonight. I appreciate that. It's really, part of this whole thing, it's kind of like a mini reunion, seeing the names from the past. I didn't, know the history behind the Winchester hockey program, and certainly it is incredible seeing the statistics of the other inductees tonight, and even some future inductees that are here tonight that are not inducted yet, but certainly will be. Darren Cromwell was out in the hallway earlier passing out Cromwell 98 buttons. Darren was a guy that always had a lot of, competitive spirit and used to hang around with my brother Dan a lot. They were the same age and ended up being on the Super Bowl team back in '86. Darren always said he wanted to wear that number 22 shirt, and him and Dan would always argue back and forth who was going to wear the shirt. And before the season, Manny Marshall, Coach Marshall, excuse me, said, calling everybody by name, and Darren gets in line ahead of my brother, so it's time to get the jerseys out. And Darren said, Dan, I just got to get that 22. I know it was your brother's jersey, but that's my number. I need it. So they get in line and calls Darren in, and a couple minutes go by. Darren's still not out. 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, Darren comes out. He's sweating. He's just beside himself. He's got the number 21 jersey. My brother's like, what's going on? He goes in, and Coach Marshall's there and says, geez, Coach, that's unbelievable what Darren did, give me that number 22 jersey. He said, what are you talking about? He was trying to reach it on the shelf for the last half hour. All he could reach was a number 21. But I'm sure Darren and a lot of other folks in the room are going to be inducted, and it's truly a great honor. And having an opportunity of living in different parts of the country, it's really, it speaks well of Winchester having not only a single sport. We were down in Texas, in the heart of the South, really, where football is king, and cheerleaders' mothers try to kill each other. And it's nice to see a school where you have the diversity of sports, and really success breeds success. Just pop off names all up and down the line: tennis, soccer, football, baseball, wrestling, hockey even now is coming back. It's really speaks well of the town, and certainly the coaches that were there and have given their time and effort over the years. Coach Marshall, over 20 years of service, and I thank you especially for that. I thank you for the plays, and back when we were playing, we only had a 2-page playbook, the 21 counter and the option right. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here tonight either. And I see John Polcari's back in town. It's nice to see you, John. How you doing? John was one of those guys. The funny thing, when we were one of the last schools, really, that had the Lynch-McCall thing going, and when John Polcari came over, he was this big, giant football player from Lynch. So we were all freshmen together, and it took a short while before you kind of figured out John was a big guy, but he was not the most aggressive football player. Hence the nickname Tuna. But one best part of the football season was Monday afternoon when the films were being showed, and it was a big game that Saturday. And Coach Johnson had always taught John very well which hole to fall in, and we're coming down early in the game against Reading, and Vin Larocco's son was on the Reading team, and he was an outstanding running back, and this was really a test for us. We had a loss earlier that season, and we needed to get ready and get back in the game for Woburn and get ready for them the following week. So it's a goal line stand, and here we are, we're getting ready to play, and it's 4th down and goal, and all of a sudden Larocco gets the ball, boom, gets knocked back 10 feet. He's down on the ground, and Polcari jumps up with his hands in the air, and everyone's going, that was Polcari? Nice hit, John. And he's going, yeah, that was me. So that Monday afternoon, we're watching the films, and Coach Marshall's rewinding that thing 4 and 5 times, and all of a sudden he realized it wasn't Polcari, it was Kenyon. So he had a short-lived moment of glory there, but truly, without all the teammates over the years and the class that has really taught us to be winners and instill that spirit in us, and having the kind of players that are willing to sacrifice their time towards the end of summer, it's not very likely that you have a bunch of guys that come together and decide they want to play football without any supervision other than the fact that they want to win. And I think that's truly what is part of the whole Sachem spirit and the will to be a champion. And without that, there aren't many towns in Massachusetts, the world, the country, whatever you want to call it, that is putting together a Hall of Fame for losing sports teams. That's what makes this so nice, is that the tradition that's here, the people, the players, everyone involved that wants to make Winchester a winning team and has continued to do that over the years. Thank you, Maria, for your support. Thank you, Sam Rotundi, for doing everything you've done to get this thing off the ground and keep it going. And I think it is a nice thing to have for the seniors now, the ones that are left, that can pass this down and look forward to this as something that is really a meaningful thing for them. Thank you.
John, I bet you're really happy you came back to Massachusetts, huh? Yeah. Look forward to that, right? Good to see you. Our last inductee, they say you saved the best for last, and in my opinion, she's at least the best looking, and she is definitely the best. Paula Russo is very special to me, and not only is she special to me, but her family is too. We have grown up together. I have been very, very fortunate to have played on the same soccer field as her. If you've ever seen her play, she's very graceful, she's poised, and nobody plays like Paula Russo. And I've seen a lot of great players, I feel. In Winchester's history of girls soccer, it speaks for itself. Chris Scanlon, who I consider to be the greatest soccer coach, has always come out with fabulous teams. But very rarely do you come across a player like Paula Russo. The talent she possesses and everything else that comes along with it is absolutely amazing. 2 years I played with her, but Paula was the greatest soccer player ever to grace the fields here in Winchester. She was a force for the Sachems, Sachemettes, I should say. During the years of 1981, 82, 83, and 84, she played varsity 4 straight years, started every single game. She was the first female player to have earned the coveted Player of the Year award from not just the Globe, but the Herald as well, for 2 years, her junior and senior year, never to be repeated. In Winchester, she was the first girls soccer player to be named All-New England and All-American while at Winchester. Nobody's made a better impact on the soccer fields as Paula has. Her great skill and poise has never been forgotten or will ever be repeated again. Other teams feared her. Her teammates loved her. Coach Scanlon loved her, and all of us did too, not just because she was an unbelievable soccer player, but because she's a great kid. Paula continued her career at Holy Cross, where she became an All-American and was captain her senior year. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on May 8th, 1997, Paula Russo to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Maria. Pay you later. Good evening, everyone. It's been a long and wonderful night, so my remarks will be brief but meaningful. I feel truly honored to be selected by the committee for induction into the Winchester Hall of Fame. When Maria Montori called me about my nomination, I had the same feeling of excitement that I experienced when our soccer team won the state title. The honor becomes even more satisfying when you're able to share the moment with your family and friends, as we're doing here tonight. I am so grateful for this recognition and realize that this would not have been possible if it weren't for the positive influences throughout my life, most of whom are in the audience this evening. I'll begin with the biggest influence, not only in quantity, but quality, my family. My family has always been a great source of strength, both at the game and at home. I could always count on their support at the games. No matter how bad the weather or how far away the field was located, the Russo cheerleading squad was there in full force. Their presence here tonight means more to me than they could ever imagine. My father, in particular, played a special role. He was my #1 fan. He's the type of fan every player dreams of having, and that he always told me I played well, even though we both knew I had an off game. His words and actions instantly lifted my spirits. He'd put his arm around me and give me that cheer up, you gave it your best kind of hug. His encouragement and love has allowed me to have the confidence in myself both on and off the soccer field. The girls' soccer team has been a soccer power since 1978, when it fielded its first team. The reason I remember this date so well is that my sister Mary was one of the captains of the team. Way back then, her team was coached by Chris Scanlon, who, believe it or not, still coaches the team today. Chris has been personally instrumental in developing so many outstanding soccer players over the years. He, like my family, was another positive influence in my life because he cared about me as a player and as a person. He taught me the true meaning of the word dedication and commitment, a quality that I strive for every day. Being part of a varsity sports team at Winchester has taught all of us the value of being a team player. We learned how to get along, how to accept criticism, and how to give encouraging words to a teammate when needed. These lessons have carried me through college and have certainly helped me in the workplace. In today's work environment, organizations are so intertwined that unless you are a team player and work effectively with others almost on a daily basis, it's difficult to succeed. I feel grateful to the Winchester Sports Program for instilling in me values that will last throughout a lifetime. In closing, I would like to leave you a thought that's been on my mind since I learned that I was to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I realized that even though I'm being individually honored as a member of the girls' soccer team, that there were many players during my 4 years at Winchester who helped make this evening possible, and I'd like to share this moment with them. Tonight's award is not for athletes who have accomplished feats all on their own, but for athletes who are blessed with the love and the support of family and friends. Thank you all for sharing this special night with me.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you to everybody. Family, friends, everybody that kept in touch with me getting this together for my first year. I very much appreciate your cooperation. It's a wrap for tonight. Until next year, get your nominations in, and we'll see you soon. Thank you very much. Please feel free to take the centerpieces as well in the center of the tables. Thank you.